He moved up in weight. He's beaten anybody that they put in front of him. He beat an undefeated fighter in Errol Spence that everybody thought was just like, you know, one of the best fighters out there, which he was.
Because boxing is not all about knocking somebody out. Yes, that's part of it. That can happen, but boxing is a sport where you can outpoint somebody too.
See that? Even the undefeated legend himself, Floyd Mayweather, was stunned watching Terence Crawford's training footage. And it's not just talk. Crawford's training camp for his super middleweight showdown with Canelo Alvarez is officially in full swing. On his very first day back, Crawford unleashed sharp combinations, explosive footwork, and a laser-focused mindset. His camp is built around 3 pillars: strength, stamina, and strategic sparring against Canelo-style partners. Despite moving up to 168 pounds, Crawford isn't just confident. He's on a mission. He boldly declared, "I'm going to shock the world." And if you know anything about Crawford, you know that's not just talk. He's planning something special, something powerful. Even Mayweather couldn't help but admire the precision and intensity Crawford is bringing to the gym. It's clear, this isn't just another fight. This is Crawford's chance to redefine his legacy, and maybe, just maybe, hand Canelo a defeat that the world never saw coming. Mark your calendars, September 12, 2025, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. History is about to be written. Terence Crawford's leg day in training camp is a true display of his dedication and discipline. He pushes through intense exercises like squats, lunges, and resistance training to build explosive lower body strength. This demanding routine sharpens his footwork and balance, key elements for his upcoming clash with Canelo Alvarez. Crawford's commitment to every detail of his training highlights just how prepared he is to take on any challenge inside the ring.
Nice.
How's that coach? Good life.
All right, put him up.
Good life. Nice.
Three, teach and build. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Terence Crawford's sparring sessions in preparation for his clash with Canelo Alvarez showcase his masterful jab work. Facing sparring partners mimicking Canelo's style, Crawford uses his jab to control distance, break rhythm, and set up sharp combinations. His smooth stance switching adds another layer of unpredictability, keeping opponents off balance. This calculated use of the jab is a key part of his strategy, designed to neutralize Canelo's power and dictate the pace of the fight.
Watch the right hand for the decoy.
Y'all know chess?
Nice, nice. That's how Star work. You know how to work. You know how to get the most out of everything. Good job, Chef.
Andre Ward, the former world champion, believes Terence Crawford's determination and boxing IQ can bridge the weight gap against Canelo Alvarez. Ward highlights Crawford's mental toughness and ability to adapt, insisting that these traits make him a serious threat, regardless of the size difference.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this The last couple of years, I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can.
Nonito Donaire, a respected figure in boxing, praises Terence Crawford's exceptional footwork and mobility. He believes Crawford's ability to move effortlessly around the ring could be a game-changer, allowing him to outmaneuver Canelo Alvarez and increase his chances of victory.
You know, Canelo's a stronger guy, the bigger guy, but in the fight with a guy that moves around, and if Crawford uses his skills and his legs and his technique and just his ability, I think he can win. He can win the fight in decision, as long as he doesn't get hit with those big shots from Canelo.
Amir Khan, who has shared the ring with both fighters, acknowledges Canelo Alvarez's power but also points out his vulnerability to getting hit. Khan believes Terence Crawford's sharp defensive skills and quick reflexes could make him a difficult target, potentially giving him the edge in their upcoming clash.
You fought them both. Like, what are the differences between them?
Canelo's stronger and he's easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't hit clean. They both hit hard because, and you could see the strength when I was fighting against Crawford. He is very strong as well. So, look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much away? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go for fighting Canelo?
Shakur Stevenson praises Terence Crawford's versatility, stating that Bud can adjust to any opponent, no matter their size. Stevenson emphasizes Crawford's ability to adapt and execute multiple strategies, making him a dangerous threat against any fighter he faces.
Where you think he could go?
Canelo
said he don't. He's like
Canelo, man. Canelo
like,
got to get off that shit. And I think the best versus the best.
You don't think the size difference is gonna play a factor again?
I mean, that's y'all opinion.
Yeah.
That's everybody else's opinion.
You don't
But
think
my
that?
opinion is different. I think that Bud could do anything that he want to do. I think that with Charlo, it was just a different story. I think Bud got the skills that can keep him at that high level with Canelo, where the size won't play a part. And I seen, honestly, like, Canelo is a great fighter. I don't take nothing away from him. I see a lot of holes.
Canelo Alvarez's recent bout with William Skull has raised concerns about his current form, particularly his low output throughout the 12-round fight. The two combined for just 445 punches, a record low that exposed Alvarez's lack of activity and engagement. Critics noted his reduced aggression and questioned whether he can keep up with younger, faster opponents like Terence Crawford. This performance has sparked doubts about whether Alvarez, once known for his dominance, can still compete at the highest level. Many now wonder if age and accumulated wear might impact his ability to handle a challenger as sharp and relentless as Crawford.
And after really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday Night Show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but you know, he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Alvarez of 5 years ago would have handled.
Canelo Alvarez, typically known for his aggressive style, managed to land just 152 punches in his recent fight, sparking concerns about his form and agility. Critics pointed out the lack of urgency and fading dominance from the 34-year-old champion, suggesting that age and ring wear might be taking a toll. This lackluster performance has raised questions about Alvarez's ability to maintain his elite status, especially with a challenging showdown against Terence Crawford looming ahead.
and it left us with the question, how much does Canelo actually have left in his pro career? The fight was finished, and then they brought Terence Crawford in the ring to announce that mega fight in September, and that leaves me with even more questions, and thank God they did that, because actually it gives us a few interesting talking points from There's Enough Left. Well, you could argue Canelo got it tactically wrong tonight, because I just don't understand why he didn't use his jab more. I understand that he was conserving energy, he was patient, he was taking it slow. He doesn't lead off with the jab much anymore, Canelo. But really, the jab helps you bring your feet closer and bring them into range, so I don't understand why he wasn't jabbing more. It can't use that much extra energy for him to not be able to use his lead hand just a bit more in that fight. So that was a bit concerning, and you could maybe argue that he knows Crawford's ringside, he knows the fight is done for September. He maybe doesn't want to show him too much, or he wants to give him maybe false confidence or false hope. I don't think that's the case. I think you get rid of Skull if you can, and I'm just not sure Canelo is able to do it anymore at that level. Definitely good enough to beat a guy like Skull. Skull was clearly terrified of the power, but, what does this mean for a fight like Crawford? Well, the first thing I noticed was, in the face-off, and I'm sure Crawford was wearing quite thick, solid trainers, as he quite often does, but the size difference didn't look that bad. It really didn't. I thought there was way more of a size difference between them, but actually, Canelo, yes, will weigh more on the night, almost questionably, but Crawford's taking the whole year to work his way up to 168, having been at 154 in his last fight. That's like 14 pounds, which is 7 kilos difference of weighing on the night. Now, Canelo would probably be like 10, 15 pounds heavier than him, but at the end of the day, what Skull was able to do in there tonight.
Terence Crawford has always emphasized that boxing is about more than just knockouts. It's about outsmarting opponents with skill, strategy, and ring intelligence. This mindset is clear in his approach to every fight, where he carefully adapts his tactics to exploit his opponent's strengths and weaknesses. Against someone like Canelo Alvarez, Crawford's ability to outthink and outmaneuver could be the key difference. Rather than relying solely on power, Crawford focuses on precision, timing, and adaptability, qualities that could neutralize Canelo's raw strength with technique and strategy.
Look up the definition of boxing. Please, look up the definition of boxing. The martial arts of boxing, and then come back with your opinion. Because boxing is not all about knocking somebody out. Yes, that's part of it. That can happen, but boxing is a sport where you can outpoint somebody too. That's why they go to the scorecard.
I appreciate that take, bro. That's real educated, man, real thoughtful. But you ain't had a decision win in a long time, bro. You known for being a great finisher. So I appreciate that. But that ain't how you moving, though.
Right.
After moving up to 154 pounds, Terence Crawford captured the WBO interim super welterweight title. While some noticed a dip in his knockout power compared to his time at 147 pounds, Crawford's technical skill and adaptability remained clear. His ability to adjust his strategy and stay composed under pressure continues to make him a dangerous force in the super welterweight division. Crawford's performance at this weight class showcases his determination and skill to compete at the sport's highest levels.
You understand me? You see what that say? Jermell Charlo is the WBA junior middleweight champion in recess. Jermell Charlo is the WBC junior middleweight champion in recess. Nah, man. Virgil Ortiz Jr. is the WBC intern junior middleweight champion. Nah, man. So make it make sense. People gotta make it make sense. Charlo's still a big dog there. Yeah, that's my camera behind me. Charlo's still a big dog there. So a lot of people need to get their facts straight. Understand? Opinions don't matter. It's all facts. No opinions. Sport podcast. And I'm always going to bring you the real, never the fake. And I'm never late on the news. You hear me? Get at me, man. Dollar.
Be great. That'll be 3 times. If you go 154 and win the belt, that's 3 times super. Mm-hmm. Then I said, chase super greatness. Come on, Canelo. 160.
Well, if he can get in there with Charlo in like his next 2 fights where he still got age on his side, then maybe go up again. Like if he's trying to chase the greatness. But I mean, he already done something that's never been done. Charlo don't want none of that.
Dimitri Bivol, one of the few fighters to defeat Canelo Alvarez, believes that Terence Crawford has what it takes to give Canelo a serious challenge. Bivol points out that Crawford's speed, movement, and sharp reflexes could give him a real edge in the ring. While he admits that jumping up 2 weight classes is no easy task, Bivol sees Crawford as a complete and adaptable fighter, someone who could handle the demands of the super middleweight division.
I think Crawford wants this fight a lot. He wants this fight, and I think he will be more active than Canelo's previous opponent, and he has different mentality. He has champion mentality. I think fight will be much more interesting.
What do you make of the weight in that fight, the weight difference?
I think Crawford will not let Canelo just walking on the ring when he wants, because we could see this fight. Canelo did everything. When he want to rest, he could rest easy, in this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, when he wants to work, that guy didn't give him work. It just rest. And I think with Crawford, it will be harder to rest.
Who do you think wins?
I don't know. It's a very interesting fight, but I don't know. We'll see.
Super middleweight contender David Benavidez believes that Terence Crawford's incredible skills and strong work ethic could lead to an upset win against Canelo Alvarez. Even though Crawford would be moving up 2 weight classes, Benavidez points out that his high boxing IQ, discipline, and ability to adjust make him a dangerous opponent. He confidently says, if anyone can beat Canelo, it's Crawford, highlighting how Crawford's smart game plan and technique could help him overcome the size difference.
Ring Magazine, which is owned by Turkey, reported that Canelo and Crawford have agreed to the September date and that it's essentially on. What is your I know this has been rumored and talked about, but now it seems like a done deal. What's your reaction to this?
It's a good fight. It's a good fight for both of them. Good fight for I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody, but I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Crawford could.
I know you said he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him a 7 out of a 10.
Oh, 5.
Crawford is good. Crawford is good, and I think he's been known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long time. And Crawford, he likes to pick up the weight, so I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long time. So, Crawford, when he has with a person that has big IQ like that, if you do enough weights, and you stay working for a long time, you have a
Renowned boxing trainer and commentator Teddy Atlas has voiced strong confidence in Terence Crawford's ability to defeat Canelo Alvarez, despite the notable weight difference. Atlas points to Crawford's exceptional skills, mental toughness, and adaptability as crucial factors that could lead to a shocking upset against the powerful Mexican champion.
Come on, he's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, "Oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You're always saying how great Crawford is." But who's he beating? He unified the what was his first division? Lightweight. Then he unified the junior. Then he unified the junior welter, then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't matter. He unified like 3 different weight classes. He moved up in weight. He's beaten anybody that they put in front of him. He beat an undefeated fighter in Errol Spence that everybody thought was just like, one of the best fighters out there, which he was. Fighters pound for pound out there, and he didn't just beat him, he dismantled him. He might have ruined him. We were talking about getting ruined in fights earlier. He might have ruined him. We don't know. He hasn't been back yet, Spence. He may have psychologically, physically ruined him. But he has done everything asked of him, and he's done it in a superb way. It's not that he's just won. I look at how people win. How versatile are they? How mentally together are they? What happens when they're tested? What happens when they have to make an adjustment? I look at all those things. What happens when they can't depend on power? What else do they have to depend on? I look at everything, their technique, their defense, their offense.
Atlas emphasizes that Crawford's seamless stance switching, combined with his exceptional ring intelligence, enables him to control the pace and distance of any fight. He believes Crawford's speed, defensive skills, and strategic awareness could effectively neutralize Canelo's power and counterpunching abilities, making him a serious threat in their upcoming clash.
They're tired of me saying it. I look at him. Look, Canelo's special too. I get it. And he's bigger. I get that too. And everyone's going to say, well, after Madrimov fight again, had a couple hiccups. Now he's stepping up another weight class. Now he's got to fight Canelo, who's even bigger, stronger, better puncher. A unified champion that he's been. All of that stuff. He's not going to be able to handle it. I asked this question. See, I go to the other side. I say, okay, yeah, can Canelo handle the smaller guy who's going to be faster, who's going to be slicker, who's going to be better defensively, who's going to have better legs, who's going to be able, sometimes Canelo at this point in his career can slow down a little bit. They're both getting older.
In response to Teddy Atlas's prediction favoring Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez brushed it off, saying that Atlas doesn't know boxing. Canelo's sharp reply highlights the growing tension and the clash of opinions surrounding this potential showdown.
He went on the rant with Teddy Atlas.
What's that mean?
He said you're the most overrated Mexican champion in history. He said that Salvador Sanchez.
Más popular,
pero sin causa.
The boxing world is buzzing with anticipation for the showdown between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. With their contrasting styles and deep experience, this highly anticipated fight promises to be a thrilling battle, one that could redefine both fighters' legacies.
Finally happening, y'all. We have Terence Bud Crawford going up against Canelo Alvarez on September 12th, and this is what boxing fans have been waiting for. Terence Bud Crawford has some of the best hands I have ever seen. But this man right here with this red beard got some of the most powerful punches that boxing has ever seen. This is going to be a fight that we all have been waiting for. These are the bouts that make UFC, because in the UFC, the best fight the best, but in boxing, that seldom happens. Like why haven't we had Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis yet? This is sometimes boxing, for whatever reason, decides not to give us the fights that we actually want to see, but finally, thanks to some Saudi money, clearly, we are going to get one of the biggest boxing events of the last 10 years, all right? This is like Manny versus Floyd, but at the prime of their careers. I'm excited for this. Y'all let us know who you think is going to win. Is it Terence Bud Crawford or Canelo Alvarez?
That's all for today. Don't forget to stay tuned. More exciting content coming your way soon.